who was right and who was wrong.
And it is wrong for Congress to declare war against Iraq now before we have exhausted the alternatives.
A brutal dictator with a history of reckless aggression, with ties to terrorism, with great potential wealth, will not be permitted to dominate a vital region and threaten the United States.
All we get from this administration is rhetoric.
It is clear, however, that if left unchecked, Saddam Hussein will continue to increase his capacity to wage biological and chemical warfare and will keep trying to develop nuclear weapons.
He doesn't have a Navy, and he can't even shoot down. He didn't shoot one of our airplanes down in 12 years, and his Army is one-third it was in 12 years ago.
Failure now to make the choice to remove Saddam Hussein from power will leave us with few choices later, when Saddam's inevitable acquisition of nuclear weapons will make it much more dangerous to defend our friends and interests in the region.
There is no proof that Iraq represents an imminent or immediate threat to the United States of America.
This is a very difficult vote. This is probably the hardest decision I've ever had to make. Any vote that might lead to war should be hard, but I cast it with conviction.
I will repeat, there is no proof that Iraq represents an imminent or immediate threat to the United States.
Saddam Hussein has gone to elaborate lengths, spent enormous sums, taken great risks to build and keep weapons of mass destruction.
What will the cost be to rebuild Iraq? How long would our troops have to stay there? Would our troops become a target for terrorists?
The gravity of this moment is matched by the gravity of the threat that Iraq's weapons of mass destruction pose to the world.
I cannot vote for a blank check for unilateral action.
There are known knowns. There are things we know we know. We also know there are known unknowns. That is to say, we know there are some things we do not know. But there are also unknown unknowns. The ones we don't know, we don't know.
Authorizing the preemptive, go-it-alone use of force right now, which is what the resolution before us calls for, in the midst of continuing efforts to enlist the world community to back a tough new disarmament resolution on Iraq, could be a very costly mistake for our country.
And if war is forced upon us, we will fight with the full force and might of the United States military, and we will prevail.
Mr. President, before we unleashed what Thomas Jefferson called the dogs of war, I want to know, have we exhausted every avenue of peace?